Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 7 of our English 1020 online course. Man, the time is just flying by, isn't it? In this video, I want to talk to you guys about where we're at in the iSearch project. We're going to talk a little bit about your scholarly source write-up, and I do also want to point out that I am in the midst of finishing grading your project ones. Those should hopefully be done by Thursday. So in this video, the second thing I want to do is to talk to you guys about how to view my feedback in Canvas. So those are the two main things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to switch over to our Canvas view and we'll get to it. Okay, so here we are in week 7. This week, we are focusing on scholarly sources, whereas last week we focused more on popular sources. You remember last week we were working with the CRAP test and thinking about popular or online sources, and this week we're really diving into those scholarly journal articles. Now, if you need a refresher about what that means, remember you can always go over here to your library resources and it will click you to the English 1020 Library Research Guide, the Wayne State Library page that has a bunch of information about that. So if you need a refresher, head over there. For this week, though, what I'd like you to watch is, of course, your week 7 instructor video, which you're totally already doing. High five. This is our second mini lesson on research strategies. So this is really focusing in on citation practices and making quote sandwiches. So this is going to be really useful to you in your iSearch project now, and also it's going to transfer really nicely into project 3. Also, there's a little vid here that deals with quotations and citing. So check that out, have a little bit of fun. This week, I'd like you to read the scholarly source of your choice that fits in with your iSearch. So this is assuming that you are searching and finding what you need. Even though I'm not explicitly making a homework assignment for it, you should be looking for sources. And remember, you need 3 total sources for this iSearch project. In our next project, if you choose to continue researching this topic, you'll need additional sources. So as many sources as you're gathering right now is going to be useful to you potentially for the next 2 projects. There's a sample here of an iSearch source write-up, which is part of your homework for this week, right? And I've had this conversation with a couple of folks. When you look at this write up, I want you guys to notice both what this student is doing well and what they might not be doing so well. So one of the things that this student is doing is talking in great detail about their key terms and the databases that they use. They talk a lot about this first source in terms of how they decided on it. And then they get really into the meat of the source. Now, if I had a chat with the student and they could do it all over again, what I might encourage them to do and what I will encourage you to do is don't rush through the search process, especially if there are lots of good juicy details that you can talk about. Maybe your search process will take about a paragraph. It might take more. You might have 2, maybe even 3 paragraphs describing how you searched for, found, and then ultimately chose the source that you're going to talk about. So just know that these samples, they're not perfect. They're just intended to show you an example that is fairly strong, though it's not going to be perfect completely without any areas to work on. This piece, Revising by Reading Out Loud, you guys will be reading for your tuning in journal later this week. And then you'll also be giving each other some feedback on your source write-ups in the discussion thread. Lots to read this week and lots to write. Your scholarly source write-up, your tuning in journal, and then we're doing shitty first drafts for this coming weekend. So if we look at the calendar, it kind of looks like ish, right? By Wednesday-ish, make sure you've watched this video and have at least one, maybe two scholarly sources that you are working with for this project. And then go ahead and write your scholarly source write-up first, because then you can build on that. You can use that to draft your shitty first draft as a building block. And then you can use your draft as your tuning in journal source. So ultimately, everything's due on Sunday as usual, and you want to be giving each other good feedback. This is one other quick reminder for everyone. Make sure that you, when you're commenting on each other's writing, you're addressing all three orders of concern: higher order concerns, big picture stuff, thesis, argument, following the instructions laid out in the assignment. Middle order concerns, so that's like having your quote sandwiches, creating paragraphs that are a single idea and not too long. Transitions. And lower order concerns, which would be like very small things: grammatical, punctuation, sentence structure issues, citation issues. Make sure you're addressing all three orders of concern and pose one question to your classmate to help them think about the piece and maybe develop it more. Okay, so that's this week's activities. We're just kind of keeping on, working on our iSearch paper and getting that shitty first draft done. Now, what I want to do in this next part of the video, I'm going to switch over to the student view. Oh, not post an announcement. Good grief. Okay, leave. One moment, please. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the student view, and I'm going to show you guys how to access my feedback to your Project 1 rhetorical analysis papers if you don't already know. If you already know how to do it, great. You can fast forward this video. But if you don't know how to do it, you can do it in a couple different ways. So the first way would be you can go to your grades. And what you're going to see here is what's called the test student. So this is no actual person in our class, which is good, because if this was an actual person, they have an alarming amount of assignments missing. But this is the test student. And so what you can do is you can scroll down to the assignment. And if you click on it, it will pull up this window. And in this box where the test student has no submission, you would see your paper link. Now, if you and I have exchanged any comments, they would be over here on the side. You can click Show Rubric, and it will show you the comments that I place into the rubric along with each content area's scores. But also, I just want everybody to know that I put a lot of in-text comments usually for everyone. And so when you click on this middle box, it will open up the actual submission box that you'll see. I like draw lines, I'm circling things, I'm putting comments in the margins. So make sure that you look at that feedback as well. So if you didn't already know how to access your feedback from me, now you know. And so by Thursday, I'm about halfway through grading Project 1s. Whew, just a couple more days and they should all be finished. If you have any questions about your feedback from me, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email with specific questions that we can totally talk about as they pop up. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to pull back to our full view and we'll close out this video. So we keep on keeping on in Project 2, your iSearch project. If you have any questions whatsoever as you guys are drafting your source write-ups or your shitty first drafts, feel free to contact your peer mentors. Remember, some of you guys have peer mentor office hours that you can take advantage of, and everybody should have access now to a WhatsApp or a GroupMe, some kind of chat that's hosted off the Canvas site. That's kind of more for you guys to kind of talk to each other and to talk to your peer mentor a little more directly. You can also shoot me an email, or you can stop by my office hours. I'll be here on Thursday from noon to 2. So please stop on by and we can chat about whatever is on your minds about your iSearch papers. All right. I hope everyone's having a great day, enjoying this a little bit slightly warmer weather that we're having today. And we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye, everybody.